Hello, everybody. Today here you've got Britt and Ikenna from the Anow Growth and Marketing team. So just a little bit about myself. I work at Anow. So I'm responsible for helping generate new business in the organization. I also perform pricing experiments and anything that has to do with expansion and growth. So it's primarily my focus. And the reason we're here today is we want to start off a mini video series. This could be a handful of videos. We'll see how it goes over the next couple of weeks. But we want to talk about trending topics in the appraisal space, things that affect the appraisers themselves, homeowners, and also lenders potentially in AMCs. So that's going to be the content of what we'll be discussing. Feel free to drop your comments in the chat, actually. If you have any questions or future ideas you want us to chat about, we'll be happy to do so. So without any further ado, that's myself, Ikenna, and I'm going to hand it over to you, Britt, and tell everyone who you are.
Thanks, Ikenna. My name is Britt. I'm part of the marketing team here at Anow, like Ikenna mentioned. I've been here for 3.5 years now, and I've definitely had my hands in support, testing, marketing, all kinds of things. So I definitely have a good handle on the product, and I've definitely talked to a lot of our users. So you might even have talked to me before on the support desk. But yeah, that's basically what I do. And yeah, I figured that we could kind of start off this chat just by talking about some cool facts that I found related to how the industry for appraisers is right now, because I mean, things are just so different. Obviously with COVID and constantly changing rules, no one knows what's going on and things are always changing. So I came across some really cool resources. One of them being a webinar from Appraisal Buzz. It was actually Metro West and Appraisal Buzz that did it together. And they really went through everything, talked about the whole industry, trends, compared it from now to the past. And it was a great resource. So we'll definitely link that in the description below. But that's where a couple of these different points have come from. So the first one I kind of wanted to kick off with is that right now they're seeing the highest amount of home sales in 10 years. And
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty crazy. So obviously appraisers are busy if homes are selling, right? That's kind of what you would think, but the average list to contract time right now is 21 days, which is incredibly fast for the industry. And that's because there's such a high demand and a lower home supply right now. So the issue is the home buyers are more likely to skip or accept the risk associated with not doing an inspection or appraisal, which can obviously lead to issues. So I think it's really important for appraisers to make themselves known and showcase what they do is critical, regardless of what kind of demands are going on right now.
Actually, speaking, so this is from Appraisal Buzz. Just in case nobody knows, and Britt, correct me if I'm mistaken. So you said this is from Appraisal Buzz in Metro West. So Metro West
Correct.
is one of the largest appraisal companies in the US. And Appraisal Buzz and we partner with Appraisal Buzz as a matter of fact. And they're one of the largest publications specific to real estate appraisals in the US. So if you've never heard about them, look them up. They're quite fascinating. They hold conferences a few times a year. They host lots of webinars all the time. They have a newsletter that just summarizes, key events in the appraisal space. So I thought I'd mention that in case no one knows who they are.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. And another great resource for appraisers in general. Appraisal Buzz really does a ton of helpful content. So definitely check them out. Another thing that they mentioned was that, which I was really surprised about, is that millennials are making up 38% of the people buying homes, which I thought was really surprising. I would tend to think it would be older millennials because I'm definitely on the cusp of like millennial Gen Z. And I'm not buying a home right now, but I know a lot of people who are like 10 years older than me who are. I don't know about you if you've heard any people, but I thought that was a really interesting little fact.
That's fascinating. I've had a few friends. So I have friends who, just for anyone who doesn't know, we're in Canada. So I myself, I'm in Western Canada, just north of Calgary. And Britt, I believe you're in New Brunswick, correct?
Correct. Yeah, I'm right on the East Coast, the Bay of Fundy.
Awesome. So for our American friends, she's on the New York side of the country, and I'm on the Seattle side of the country, in case you don't know. So we're just up north in Canada. So I have a few friends in Calgary who've bought homes. But what's happening now, because I don't know if it's a factor of the interest rates, and speaking of interest rates, the interest rates right now are the lowest they've ever been in all of history. So the interest rates that we discovered, and historically, I think in the 80s, I wasn't even born in the 80s, but it was as high as like 19%. But today, this is the all-time low. I know I have a few friends who've bought houses with an interest rate of like 1.8%, which I've like never heard of such a thing before. Mm-hmm. So, and then on the flip side, people who are trying to sell houses, millennials, speaking of millennials, I know at least 2 or 3 people who've lost significant value in their homes just trying to sell it during the COVID-19 time. So I don't know if it's a factor of the type of home, the place in the country they are, or it's just a combination of issues that are affecting the appraisal space. Well, it's really fascinating because I know someone specifically who lost $70,000 in valuation for like a 6-year-old condo.
Wow.
So it's really interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Another thing with that is, I guess, I mean, even though millennials are the ones buying up a big chunk of these homes right now, millennials are having smaller families. So like 1 to 2 kids, we're not seeing those 5, 6, 7 kid households as often as we once were. But even though that is a thing, the demand right now, a lot of the time is for bigger homes. So I don't know if this might be impacting things where demand, like maybe there is more supply available in those smaller homes, kind of like starter families, but people nowadays are wanting more space. I don't know about you, but personally, me with COVID, working from home all the time and just being kind of cooped up, it would be so nice to have some extra rooms, to have like a workout room or a crafting room or anything. People just are wanting extra space right now. So yeah, that makes sense to me.
Yeah, of course. The space thing is a big factor because I know lots of people who've either at least I've personally moved myself just to have like a separation from office, because you could work from home and just forget that you're working till like 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock at night. Just
exactly.
Because, yeah, it's pretty dark outside. But no, this is fascinating. So if we're also hearing from our sales team that appraisers are as busy as they've ever been. Mm-hmm. So now what I wonder is this a factor of, you imagine, like, because I believe that appraisers are essential workers right now due to COVID-19.
Correct. And not everywhere, but I've read that like certain provinces and states, it depends on your location, but depending on where you are, some appraisers are considered essential.
Okay, that's fascinating. Because we've heard from the sales guys that appraisers they've never been this busy before. Mm-hmm. So when I discovered this, I looked up. I tried to look it up to try and understand things. So I saw a piece from Housing Wire. Actually, they interviewed Phil Treadwell. I think he's the VP of Development at Mason McDuffie Mortgage. Okay. So he said that the training process for appraisers is actually a little bit too long. So there are not enough appraisers in the market right now. Mm. And I wonder if folks because I think like a training organization for appraiser credits, what do they call them? I think McKissock.
Right.
So they offer CE credits for appraisers. So I wonder if the training process could be condensed just due to COVID-19 to get more people trying to appraise, or people could just do it part-time, because I know a lot of part-timers.
No, that would definitely be, I would think, an interesting thing. And I would imagine if COVID continues to progress and we see these new variants coming in that we don't know how the vaccines are going to work with it, I think we could see some changes like that, because I know already certain appraisal standards boards and even Fannie Mae, they're kind of changing some of their standards to allow like desktop appraisals and drive-bys instead of full appraisals. So I could definitely see more changes coming down the line as well in terms of like getting people going and started with appraising if things keep going the way that they are. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, and considering that there's a lot of changes happening, I think it might be worthwhile mentioning approaches of how could people appraise without, putting themselves at risk or the homeowner at risk? Because I'm
Yeah.
sure now it's possible that there are homeowners who are like, I don't want anyone coming to my house because I feel uncomfortable, or I have an elderly family member, something of that nature. So last year we worked on a new product release, and maybe Britt, you're the product expert at Anow, so I'll let you speak to it actually.
Okay, sure. So yeah, like you kind of mentioned there, we were hearing lots of people with the issue saying, even if I am an essential worker, a lot of people aren't wanting me to enter their home, and maybe I don't want to enter the home for whatever reason. They needed a way to work around it. So we came up with Anow Walkthrough, which was, I believe, the first of its kind to ever come out. I think we've seen a couple more since, but I believe Walkthrough was the first online, totally contactless appraisal survey that you can send homeowners, so they get steps to go through the house, take photos, mark down notes. They get to show off the parts of their house that they love, which is a bonus for them because appraisers might not pick up on, oh, look at this, there's memories behind this, and really go into detail on highlighting certain features. So it's a great benefit for the appraisers to be able to not enter a home and continue to get work done and complete full appraisals without having to put anyone at risk. But it's also a benefit to the homeowners to be able to really focus on those areas of the house that they love. And again, they're not at risk either. So it's just a really great solution to keep everyone safe. But we wanted to make sure appraisers could still make money and still do full appraisals without having to worry about making less or doing a desktop and maybe not being able to charge the full report fee they normally would.
Yeah, that makes sense, especially now that, at least in Canada, we call them CERB payments. They have a different name, and like stimulus checks, I guess.
Yeah.
The folks in Reddit call them stimmies. That's the millennial term for stimulus checks. But if appraisers could keep earning while COVID-19 is happening, I mean, not that it's great that there's COVID-19, but at least people could still be able to feed their families. So I think that's fascinating. And the cool thing that I find about Walkthrough is that because it's 100% cloud-based, you don't have to, and you're not dealing with servers. The moment the homeowner takes the picture, it gets synced to your Anow account and actually allows you to get started with the report. So that's a really cool piece for me. And I think this is something that should not be understated because it saves a lot of time and keeps people safe. Yeah.
Absolutely. And another big thing that kind of goes along with that is the fact that we do verify location. So it's not just like someone can go walk into anybody's house and take pictures and say, this is my house. Our system will check the property address and match it with your location services, whether they open it and do the survey on their phone or their laptop. We will confirm that and let you know that they are in the right place, and we'll even show like a little map of where it is and everything. So it's a really great service. And like you said, it shouldn't be kind of ignored, even if people are having ways to work around COVID. This is a great solution, even beyond COVID, to just get more appraisals done and get things done faster and bring the homeowners into the process with you.
Yeah, no, it's really essential because a lot of people don't know this. The appraiser is the client, is the homeowner. The appraiser is not the homeowner's client.
Correct.
The appraiser is the lender or AMC's client. So you want to look good as much as possible to the homeowner in that particular situation. And if you can get reviewed properly, that would be fantastic as well. So yeah, those are really interesting points, Britt.
Yeah. One more thing I did want to mention, just kind of along that same theme of solutions through COVID. It can obviously be hard to learn new tech, and it's a daunting thing sometimes, especially if you're not used to it. And all of a sudden with COVID, you're having to learn these new tools and be online as an appraiser. At Anow, we do offer a lot of really great onboarding, training, support. So we make it as easy as possible. But another thing that's so critical is to keep communication. I know for us, we're all remote working, and there's not a day that goes by that me and you, we don't talk. And I know that if we weren't talking as much as we were, we definitely wouldn't be doing our jobs as efficiently. I mean, working together, sometimes we get our best ideas and we get awesome stuff done. And
Correct.
I don't know if you agree, but for me at least, I feel it's the same way for pretty much every industry, including appraisers. So whether you need to communicate with clients or admins on your team or other appraisers, reviewers, whatever, it's so important to have tools to keep everybody in communication and on the same page without having to chase around updates and notes and attachments and all this other stuff.
Yeah, having any kind of information centralized, like I personally, we use Slack a day now to communicate. I don't have to, if there's something, if I remember there was a discussion like months ago, I could search it, look for a file, and it shows up in there, and it's always there. So having that centralized, and then there are channels where you could chat as well. And I believe inside of Anow, we have these components for anyone who's an appraiser or multi-location firm could actually have these channels to have conversations in.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, exactly. I just want to share my screen really quick.
Oh, for sure.
So yeah, I basically just wanted to touch on, like, here's an order page in Anow. So like you kind of said, having everything in one place, we've got all your workflow, everyone assigned to the order, your appointment dates, fees, map, all these different details that you can track. But also down here, we have these really cool sections for notes and live order messages. And as you can see, like we just mentioned, there are these different channels. So we've got one for appraisers on the order, one for reviewers, admins. And this is just a great way to keep everybody in touch. You can pick if you want your notifications on so you can get emails whenever a new message comes in. And you'll also get a little ping up here where you can see all of your order messages and just reply to them immediately. So it's super easy and just everything is in one place. Yeah,
that's beautiful. It's, as Marty says all the time, that's our CEO. We want to be the biggest cheerleader that appraisers have, and I think that's something. It's a work in progress. It may never end, but we always want to bring value to these appraisers. I think this has been a really fascinating chat, Britt. Do you have any other closing thoughts?
I think we kind of covered most of what we wanted to talk about. I think this was awesome. And like I said, we used a lot of great resources in kind of gathering this information. And I mean, even Anow stuff. So we'll put a whole bunch of links into the description here so you guys can check everything out. And I mean, always feel free to reach out to us anytime if you guys have any other questions or have ideas for a future video you might want to learn more about. So we're always open to hearing your feedback.
Yeah, the ideas would be very welcome because we're trying it out. We like to, at Anow, we, as a software company, experimentation's like our default setting. So we're experimenting with this to see if people are interested in this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And if you have any ideas, again, shoot them our way. But Britt, thank you so much for taking your time to chat with me today.
No, thanks, Ikenna. This was great. I really enjoyed it.
Awesome. Take care. Have a good day.
You too. Bye.